feel like I haven't done that in a while.
It has been a minute.
Yeah. This is episode 5 of season 3. 31 total?
We
31 or 32?
We made it to episode 5.
Yeah. So me and Carl have been in and out of the podcast. We had talked about putting it on hold just until we got done with this prep because he's had a great prep.
It got a little hairy.
I've had a rough prep, and we're gonna talk about prep files today because we are five days out from APO.
It's like 4 and change. Yeah.
So we weigh in on Saturday morning, and then we will compete on Sunday.
9 a.m. sharp.
9 a.m. sharp. And all the things that have torn me apart, nothing has made me more whole. Covering the good, the bad, and the shit that keeps us going, straight from the head ref's table. I'm your host, Travis Papa Bear Rogers, and you are listening to A Forest Through the Trees, a cave podcast. I feel like that sip in the background really added
was it
some
loud?
suspense. Oh, I could hear it. Yeah, it was like right through the tagline. Here with the strongest sipper in the East, Carla Master.
What's going on, man?
Not much. I would say
I know what's going on.
Yeah, I do. You know what's going on. So I was reading through your notes today and compiling these, and they were pretty funny. And the first one, it just said navigating difficult preps.
Oh,
so
no.
I was like,
Yeah,
I was
really?
like, yeah. So I decided to save the the SSB stuff for a later episode because there was a lot of stuff. So I figured we can make that kind of variation stuff like a whole extra episode.
Yeah. All right. So what had happened was we were gonna be recording every single week, but as soon as we got like into the meat and potatoes of this prep, it was like, all right.
Well, and Tuesday's our usual rest day.
Yeah, let's worry about one thing at a time and make sure our recovery is on point.
Like 2 in a row, I was like, Carl, I need to go the fuck home.
Let's not have a day at the cave.
and on top of that, school year's ending for me. For those of you who don't know, I'm a high school teacher, so I teach English 12 and Art 1, which is a mixed bag of kids because it's an elective course. But senior grades closeout was last week, so boiling up to that, it has been a stressful year to say the least. So between all that and the worst shenanigans possible for me as far as meat preps go, I was like, hey man, I need to just go home and disassociate and like eat food and go to sleep.
Think about what you've done.
Yeah, and I will see you Wednesday when we lift again.
Yeah.
So
how do you want to even break into this?
I don't know. Break in is a keyword and phrase here for that part. So let's just start with that. So I am currently in my 5th or 6th?
7.
No, it hadn't been 7. I think it's 6.
Oh, okay. I'm counting the one sitting over here.
Yeah.
That's 6.
No,
6.
6. That one's for after the meet.
That's a secret.
So I'm in my 6th bench shirt for this prep. Almost a different one every single week.
Yeah.
So what happened was... Carl is wearing a new 52. We had both saved my old nice 54, which is his. But we keep it here for us in case we have a backup shirt.
It's a gym shirt.
Or need like, a lighter touch one. Because that's what smart equipped benchers do.
That's right. It's what bad benchers do when they can't touch in their main shirt.
I mean that is true. It goes both ways. But... am I a bad? I'm a bad bencher.
I didn't mean to be a shot at you.
I'm a bad bencher now, Carl. I'm a bad bencher.
No.
Can we please put an asterisk next to this, as this is also my first poly meet in a poly shirt with one titty.
Yes.
This is my first one titty meet back. So what happened was, I got a new shirt, and I thought it was gonna go well. It had a little hole in it. And I got another one that also had another little hole in it. So I sent those off to be reinforced, had collar added over it, and to patch my spots. Both those shirts blew out in the same night.
Like 20 minutes apart.
One blew out to a touch, and the other one blew out. Dude, it was what?
3 more.
3 or 2? Yeah, it was
early on.
It didn't make it far. So
New.
both of those blew out, and we were scared shitless. And both of those were SDPs, a red one and a navy blue one.
Not the red one.
The red one.
Magical
Ketchup blew out. So both those shirts blew out, and of course, I have also, for personal health reasons, lost a lot of weight and decided to go back to my OG longest standing weight class at 198.
Dropping 2 classes.
Yeah, 2 classes from my previous meet. Now, I didn't do that in just meet prep. I've been doing that since, I've been losing weight since December.
This has been months in the making.
Yeah, so it's not like they were like, well, no shit, you're doing bad. You dropped 30 pounds in like 5 days. Like, no. Yeah. This has been over time. So I'm currently down to 205, right where I need to be to water cut into the 198s like I always used to. No big deal. Salt manipulation, that whole shebang bang. If you want to read about that, I still have articles I've published on Elite FTS about that. Carl has also brought me an energy drink today to sabotage me with artificial sweeteners to hold all my water and not make weight.
That's right. I'm too kind and also evil.
Yes.
I'm gunning for best lifter from this monster I gave him.
So our buddy Paul Stein hooked me up and sent me a shirt. It is a double ply Super Cat. And so far until this point, the gnarliest, most gangster shirt I've ever been in was my Evil Twin, which I ended up absolutely adoring. I love that fucking shirt. It's probably way too big for me now. It is. I remember I tried it on. And then I got a Evil Twin Psycho in the laminated material, which I think my best bench in that was like 630 to a half board. Like, we didn't get it to touch ever.
That was the only one that you couldn't get touching.
Yeah, we could not get that shirt to touch before a meet, so I ended up swapping back to my Evil Twin. Now, this shirt's fucking gangster, dude. Like, I have stretched it on a rack. I have blown up shit in the armpits. I've worked it for 6 weeks. Me and Carl had sprayed the ever-living fuck out of it with water. I mean, we're talking about Jumbo Jim's log flume, slip and slide style. Like, we have super soaked that hoe.
We used more water on that shirt than
dude.
Like,
we have stretched and worked and wet and you name it on this shirt. And like, we had eventually got it to a point because like I couldn't even get in it. So we had gotten to the point where I could get about 580 to 590 to a one board. Relatively comfortable. We say comfortable.
We took a half board on that shirt, didn't we?
No, we took
a 1.5 and a one board.
Yeah, we took a 1.
Yeah.
So we were like, okay, like we have worked our asses off to get to this point. This is gonna be the shirt, dude. The heaviest bench of prep came and we could not get that motherfucker to touch. It would lock at 622, which usually isn't a hard weight for me to do. But at 30 pounds less...
Subtle flex.
It's a lot. Well, I'm just saying in a bench shirt...
It's not a really difficult thing for me to bench.
I'm just saying consistently...
Over 3 times body weight.
Like you don't have access to my open powerlifting and see the multiple 600-pound benches, okay? Usually it's in the cards for me, okay?
Typically, yes.
30 pounds body weight down with a shirt that's taking most of your energy to get it down was not in the cards for me. So we could not even get it to touch with 622 after we were taking like 580 to a 1. So I was super frustrated and upset. The meet was big mad. And I usually don't let preps get to me like that. But like at the same time, there was a bunch of shit going on with the gym. I was stressed at school and it was just like spiraling out of control. And what was the one thing you told me that really got to me? Not got to me, but like made me think more. You were like...
I was talking a whole lot of shit.
You were talking mad shit.
I was walking a very fine line between like I trained with this guy. I want him to do well. I want to give him some shit to like push him, but I also kind of want to be a dick because as a competitor, we're at the same meet.
Yeah, we are at the same meet. Well, and we were in the same weight class. Now we're not though.
Yeah.
I am much lighter than you now.
But I want the best for you, but I'm gonna give you some shit to get there.
There had been multiple times during this prep where I was like, I love you, but I want to physically harm you right now. Because I was very frustrated. And it sucks when you feel that.
Bear, dude.
And it sucks when you feel that way, and yet you're the one spotting me and keeping me the most safe. So I'm like...
Who's catching your benches when your shirt blows
out,
dude?
Right, yeah. You all caught some crazy shit. Shout out to Eddie and Bo, who...
Our team is so solid.
Yeah, everyone has caught some benches. Poor Bo, when he walked away from that one, his hands are shaking. He's like, fuck, bro.
Yeah. This is his first equip meet, and he's over here doing this.
Yeah. And he's going to have a great meet. We're super proud of him. He's been killing it.
Team's on his back.
Team's on his back. I told him I'm going to whisper to them after I get my bench. I'm going to be like, I've just been fucking with you the whole time. Team's on your back, bro. Go get him, Tiger. But, so I gave up on that shirt, and I just so happened to find a guy on Facebook Marketplace, and he was selling a 48 old school SDP because I did not want to order a new one. I talked to Carl, I talked to Roman, I'd been in a couple of the newer shirts they've produced in the last year. They're super stretchy. They don't have a lot of like support to them. And with me having one titty and a redone elbow all on the same side of my body, like I cannot have a shirt that's like givey. Like I gotta have something with a little more support to it, which is why I like the katana. We just couldn't get it to touch because that bitch has no give.
Well, as a single ply lifter at heart, you know, you're just
I am. I would love to be back in single ply.
Titan fanboy. It's your baby.
I am actually. Yeah, and that is true because I prefer boss briefs.
Most single ply lifters go for Titan equipment anyway, so it makes sense you would.
But I'm talking in multi. I prefer boss briefs. Period. I love the I call it the crunchy loop at the bottom that like digs into you, and then like once the briefs are set, like they can't slide up or down.
They're going in.
They're not moving anywhere. But so we got this shirt, and it gave me the bench I needed.
What size bench shirt are we in now?
Not the bench I wanted. We are in a 48 double ply.
Okay.
48 double ply all around in the old navy front OG black sides.
Right.
So it's a cool looking shirt. I like the shirt a lot.
So we've dropped 3 sizes on the SDP from the one you were wearing previously. Yeah,
I mean, but not counting December when I was still wearing the 54.
Exactly. Yeah.
So we are significantly smaller. So, because we were getting the katana on with trash bags, and it was still pretty bad.
Putting trash bags on the arms and then fishing the shirt up, like taking 15 minutes to do that on a good day.
It was bad.
And then sliding the trash bags out.
Yeah.
So you're not
also,
in like an oven.
I'm still in my black boss briefs. I do want a pair of tighter briefs, but I don't have time to break them in. But shout out to my boy Ralph over at Death Wish. He had sent me his old pair of Iron Man burgundy colored boss briefs that I love. The one leg's a little tight for me because I have that one surgery leg. God, I sound so fucking put together, dude.
Every statement is like ending with a with this and
it's true though. Like it's hard to find gear that fits me right because I got so much fucked up parts. So I am gonna work the legs in those after this meet and get situated in a tighter pair of briefs, so that way I feel a little safer with that. But Carl can lace the living fuck out of my F8, so it's been holding up once we get everything up on there.
That's how he trains my grip. I just
he just laces me. But so we got at the last week we were allowed to be in a shirt. We were only supposed to go to boards, and I told Carl, I said, look, I need to be sure. If not, like, I need to pull out of this meet. Like, there's no sense in me getting hurt. Like, the OG idea was to qualify for APO or WPO, and then I kind of let that spiral out of control, and like, okay, now I want to put up this kind of total. Now I want to reach for this number ranking spot, and it just kind of spiraled out of control. And I really thought this should be an episode 2 about keeping your ego in check. Not that my ego was wild, but I think my realistic expectations of my age and how my body physically operates now versus where I was before some gnarly surgeries is completely different. Like, I can do heavy weights with Carl, but I definitely don't have like the endurance like I used to. Like, I mean, there was tons of times where you could watch me knock out multiple sets of like triples and doubles at crazy fucking weight, but like I'm not only is it a mental barrier, like I'm scared something's gonna be off and just like fuck something up, and I'd rather just take a single and make it as executed as perfect as possible. But man, like I just physically cannot do what I used to do, and like that's okay. And I think a big turning point like 2 weeks ago, a week and a half ago, I talked to Carl. I felt sad for myself, but then like talking about it out loud with people and stuff, like, and verbalizing it, and finally like coming to that understanding of like you're still very strong and you're still very competitive, but you're just like you're simply not in the same way you used to be, and you're not quite that guy anymore. And like that's a big pill for me to swallow, because I have been for a very long time, and it's just like I'm not upset at anyone about it, but I do think it does add fuel to my fire watching you. Like, because it's like, I'm on this, like, okay, I'm still competing. I'm still here. I'm okay. But it's still a slight backslide versus watching you just, like, fucking climb the mountain. And I'm like, fuck, you know, like, we were here, and now we're here, and now we're here, and now I'm like, all right, am I tipped on the other side of the mountain now? You know what I mean? So, like, and I'll never hold that against Carl. Like, that's what every coach, every friend, every training partner wants, is like their person to replace him, or not replace is a terrible word. That sounds like I'm going away. Like, be better and do better and grow as a lifter and perfect that, where, you know, you had your time, and like that's a huge goal of mine, is to pass that on to him and watch him grow, and me be healthy enough to fuck around and go and coach and at least do some meets with him while he's doing it.
I just need you to be healthy enough so we can do a birthday meet every 2 years.
That is true. Yeah, so last year was my magic Airbnb getaway with a bunch of card dorks, and we had a bunch of friends. But this year we swapped back. It's back to a meet, because I did my first one at 35 for when I was submasters on the day. So we will be looking for one of those.
If I could give you my real honest opinion on how things are rolling out right now, I'm sure this is just a workaround meet for you. You know, you get those.
Carl's hoping I'm on the bounce back.
It's not even. It's like a bounce back. It's just like this. Not every meet is like I'm putting 130, 140, 200 pounds of my total.
Right.
I'm working around this one. These other two lifts are holding and maintaining or even growing. But, you know, this one lift is dragging behind a little bit, and I'm working around it for this instance.
Yeah. So, I mean, as far as navigating, like, difficult preps, I would say this has been one of my hardest, not only because of, like, all the bench shenanigans and the weight loss, but also, like, the outside influences and, like, how emotionally it has challenged me and made me feel where, versus I'm normally very confident in a prep.
Yeah.
And this is probably the least confident I've been in a prep. And I've vocalized that a lot to Carl, where he'll be like,
just do it on meet day.
Yeah, he's like, dude, I've seen you touch things when you're not supposed to touch things, and you can just, like, do it because you want to do it. And he's like, just go be that guy. And then, like, I've multiple times vocalized to you, like, Carl, I am not confident. I am not that guy right now. Which is okay. Like, I mean, I feel like that's a humbling experience, and also, like, being able to step back and recognize that is also, like, a big pattern in growth. So I am cool with that. But squats have been going really well. I tied my all-time squat PR at 242 at 205. So, I mean, I can't argue that. So.
We got to chew on the fact that there's not a lot of people out there that can maintain a total dropping 30 pounds.
No. And, I mean, I'm still good for 7 to 700 plus deadlift right now, which I've pulled in prep already. So, I mean.
And it's totals. Totals don't win the meets. It's the coefficient that win the meet.
Yeah, but, I mean.
Totals are fun, I know.
Totals are cool. No one walks up to you and goes, what's your coefficient?
Except other powerlifters.
You're right.
And that's only people that really watch.
But I want to walk in Royal Farms and be like, do you know my coefficient?
Yeah, give me my free chicken sandwich. I have a total that's X amount.
They'll be like, how much do you bench? I'm like, psh, coefficient, bro.
7 million pounds.
Yeah, I say, don't ask me about bench right now.
It's equipped or raw. And they're like, what? What are you talking
about? Yeah.
That's my favorite, though.
But I've been fucking rambling on woe is me, man. Tell them about your prep.
Well, hold on. We didn't even touch on your deadlift.
What about my deadlift?
I think you had a great deadlift prep.
I did have a good deadlift prep. I'm also wearing, for the first time, briefs under a single ply suit.
Which was my idea.
It was Carl's idea. He's had multiple good ideas this prep. They don't come often, but when they do,
my own horn right now.
When they do, they're pretty solid ones. But
I think it's working great for you.
It is. I really like it, and it's nice too because like now that I'm wearing the briefs all the time again.
Yes.
Like what we did the other day with the last warm-ups, I felt super comfortable because I've been in those all the time.
That's right.
So, like, those felt pretty good. And they're also a little bit looser on me, which I prefer for deadlift anyway. Because I was always a good natural raw deadlifter.
You're a raw lifter.
So, like, I don't like something, like, crazy tight on me because what ends up happening is, we found this out, too, when I was a little bit bigger. It would pull my shoulders into internal rotation and cause me to not be able to rotate my hands out to hold the bar efficiently.
Yeah, you'd be dropping.
So I would fucking rip it and blast it off the floor really quick, but like the last inch, because of where it was forcing my arms, it would make it roll out of my hands.
Yeah, it'd be like a half second all the way up and then a 3-second lockout.
Yeah. And me trying to struggle to hold it. We also did purchase a pair of power pants.
Yeah.
From Inzer.
Never heard about these, to be honest.
Yeah, and again, shout out to Ralph. Ralph,
he's the man.
Ralph is the man.
The ideas.
Ralph has done multiple weight classes, so he was like, hey, I know the tricks for these. So the power pants are basically like literal boxer briefs that are thicker and tighter and hug your hips, and you can use them for like rehab or just to wear for like leg days if you have issues. But we wanted them to have a little bit of fabric so we could put under my briefs to make the briefs that had gotten loose on me slightly tighter and to keep my hips in a safer spot. So I've been wearing those, and I've told Carl, I've even been wearing them on bench. So I'll bench in like a t-shirt and those, and with your external and opening of your legs to boost and lock your torso point, like it even feels good on that. And I told him, I was like, dude, I'm gonna buy a pair in every color now.
Dude, it just clicked to me. Throughout like your years of powerlifting, it's been like, yo, why is that guy wearing knee sleeves while he benches? Oh, it makes him feel better. You know, he's better on his knees even when benching. Why has he got power pants on when he's benching? Well, it's better for his hips now. And it's just gonna
sounds
travel.
Sounds bad, dude. Sounds bad. Like I know, dude. I get it. I'm fucking broken down, man. I get it, Carl. I'm barely together, bro. But we made it. We were 5 days out. We made it.
Yeah,
barely. And so to cap that off, deadlift was great. Bench is great, which is the other thing that made me so upset this prep, because like I had done my goals and held strength perfectly like I wanted to for my goals for this meet, and then because of like the complete and utter chaos and shirt debacle, it had felt like prep had gone to shit, because usually I'm very confident in a bench shirt and I can like touch whenever I feel like it, but this whole prep every week has just been like, fuck dude, it's bench day. I've been so sad to bench because I just know how big of a struggle it is. But lo and behold, we weren't supposed to get in shirts another day. We were supposed to take our last warm-ups raw before we get in our shirts for a 3x1. I convinced Coach Carl to allow his athlete to go off program and do touches one more time at my opener just to be certain like this shirt is going to work, and they were the best and cleanest benches of all prep.
they were great. You're just breaking every single rule that you have written in prep in equipment.
What do they say? Sometimes you got to know the rules to break them.
Yeah.
You got to know them before you can bend them.
Yeah, it just pissed me off. It made me so worried. I was up the night before thinking like, man, he's gonna get
hurt.
again.
He's gonna get hurt right now.
Touching when we're 5 days out. This doesn't make any sense. This goes against everything I've been taught. Like, what are we doing here?
But I will say, since I am benching significantly less than what I was at a heavier body weight and with 2 full titties, stability is more of an issue than strength. So like my weight I'm touching tires me out significantly less than what I used to. You know what I mean? Because like then I was handling 600 multiple times in a bench session.
Yeah.
And now it's like, it's pretty chill.
We're not saying numbers right now.
Yeah, we're not saying numbers. Mostly yours is a surprise. Mine's just because I'm embarrassed. I'm not as good as I once was, Toby Keith.
I'm not keeping shit secret. Like, I've posted pretty much all of mine.
I know. So have I. But, and then I think the last bugaboo I had for this prep was we were starting to get super worried with the weight loss because I have a large F8 canvas lace-up. And when Carl would lace me super tight like I wanted, we were starting to run out of suit to close in on me. So we were like, fuck, are we going to have to go on Facebook Marketplace and try to find like a LUP medium? Yeah, and we probably still will, honestly. I'm still going to look around.
Yeah, it'd just be hard this close,
Yeah. So, I mean, we have made this work. I've taken all my heavier squats at this body weight I'm at now in that suit. So, again.
And hoping after a refeed to be a little more plump.
Yeah, try to blow it up a little bit. Yeah. So, but yeah, man. Talk about your prep.
Where do we start?
Talk about how shitty your 800 double was.
Yeah. Let me go through the squat from the beginning, all right? So we changed things up about 16 weeks out, where we started keeping the same 2 max efforts.
You're right. We did.
I had a problem handling free weight at the bottom. So we started doing a chained free squat on a Duffalo for doubles, and we would do a single in full kit 2 weeks later. And I kept hammering the same numbers. I started slower, and I didn't take under 800. I was like in 801 or 805, whatever it is.
With the AR accommodation, right?
No. Well, the first one actually was like a 750 with the minibands. So
Right.
It was around there.
Okay.
And then I just like was swinging like until like just slowly taking chops at it until you could really start hammering weights. And throughout like every 4 weeks when I would take that free squat, I just started stacking them together until it was like routine, and it got pretty routine for me by like the 12th weekend.
And it was because you and me talked about like how many consecutive
dude
ME squat days have we squat some variation of either straight bar or with chains 800 plus.
Yeah, I look back on my post. It's been since January. I haven't taken anything less than like what would be 800.
Right. So we had been, regardless of weight loss here, regardless of stability issues here, like we had consistently both hammered it. Okay, like we will both be able to, regardless of where we are, him feel more confident at 8 because he wanted to open at 8, and me being like, hey, I'm going to lose all this weight. I still want to be able to squat 8.
Exactly. You can't lose it if you never stop doing it.
Yeah. I don't know if there's exact science behind that, but we certainly believe it here at the cave.
Yeah. So
you heard it here first. You don't lose it if you just fucking keep doing it regardless.
That's right. Can't forget it. You can't forget how to tie your shoes if you're waking up tying your shoes every day.
Yeah, man. It's the same thing, just with 800 pounds.
So it was going really well. Eventually, we moved down the chain doubles down to singles as well once we got closer. So it was singles every single time we got into a squat suit. And then I took a trip up to Death Wish, and that was like the last time I took only 800. I stopped at like 8 even that day. I was like, all right, cool. This is we're here now. Like we're about to start hitting.
You
the gas.
have arrived, bro.
Yeah, we're about to start hitting the gas, getting ready for this thing. So I started swinging at like some 822 or.
Because then after that, that's when we officially started prep, right?
Yeah.
Peaking.
Yeah, it's like 817, 822.
We've been prepping. I mean, like peaking actually.
It's always strength training, We're always just strength training for the power lifts.
You don't have to get ready if you're always ready,
That's right. That's right.
I mean, we do honestly, like I know that's like a played out phrase and a joke between us, but like given the MEs we do in rotation on how we do it, like I do feel ready most of the time.
Well, dude, the whole point is as you get closer to like whatever you're doing, you get more sport specific to like powerlifting. So the variations get more narrow down to like just straight bar, straight weight.
I also break all the rules with that too.
You break every single rule possible. Yeah.
I'll be like, it takes me like one session to be like, oh yeah, this is how you squat in a really tight Velcro suit again.
Yeah.
It takes me like 0 time to get used to a suit.
And it pisses me off.
Yeah, because I'll be like, I don't feel like squatting. I think I'm good. Because I did that last prep.
Yeah.
I squat twice and then went in the meet and hit a PR.
I'll put straps up for the first time in a little bit and be like a flounder that's on the sand. And I don't know what's going on.
My only issue with this prep because of the weight loss was the picks feel terrible. And that's because like as we crank my suit and my suit's got more suit over top of me now because Carl has to crank the straps down more. The position and thickness of the straps against me and my back and where I've lost weight, the pick feels a little different on where it sits because there's a little bit less of me. And so like when I pick it, it's not necessarily like the weight feels heavier. It just feels more out of place. So that has been a little bit of a challenge too in adjusting to that. Usually I'll have a really shitty one at like 720-ish. And then after that, I'm like, oh yeah. And then I'll get a little bit better.
It is so fun to watch you take those ones where you're working your pick before you know what it feels like.
Yeah.
It's like, is he gonna do it? Is he? Okay,
yeah,
it's out.
Dude, because I remember the one day it was awful, dude. They watched me try to pick 727 like 3 different times, and it was awful. And then that day I ended with a PR.
Yeah, you somehow
like they didn't even think I was gonna make it to 8, regardless squatting all-time PR.
Put over 100 pounds on it when you first couldn't get.
Yeah, I couldn't punch that out of the rack. I just couldn't figure out the pick in the suit with the weight loss, man. So
yeah, but like as we got closer, started taking swings at like the low 8s and then the mid 8s. Now I have several gym squats that are in the mid 8s, and I'm pretty confident taking something as like that as a second attempt. So.
Yeah. Now, as far as like prep and then into this peak and how I organized it with like what you were saying with the chain, I mean, I really liked all that.
Me too.
I couldn't follow it the whole time.
It's true.
Because I was in and out of being fucked up, and also the bench shirt deal.
Sure.
And also trying to like, hey, will you mail me these briefs? Hey, will you like I was in the middle of trying to find gear while we're in the middle of it.
Yeah.
So I am very confident that I was like, okay, if I had my shit organized and I was already at my weight, like I was good to go. Again, do as I say, not as I do. You should have your gear and your body weight at the expected one well in advance. So don't do what I just did. But hey, if that's why I said if this meet goes good and I pull this off, it was a well-deserved and earned total, man. Because this has been the motherfucker I've fought for.
Yeah, for sure.
This has been a rough one.
I will say, I think we had 1 week where I took something stupid heavy with chains, and this is a very telltale like, hey, chain weight does not equal free weight when you put all of it on the bar. I took like a 730 with like 240 in chain.
Yeah. It was over 9.
And it was mid 9s on the pick, and I was just like, oh, I'm gonna squat 9, and it's like, well, it's gonna be a lot harder than I thought it was gonna be.
Yeah. So, and I mean, I'm glad you said that out loud because there's so many, especially in the geared community, that are like, oh, well, this band tension and this chain tension and this blah blah blah.
Yeah.
Like, I'm guaranteed this, and like, dude, you're not.
No one's guaranteed anything.
You're super not. The other problem too is like, and that kind of moves us into our next subject, talking about speed and AR and the purpose of bands and chains. I really think like, especially like, don't get me wrong, I love bands for DE, but one of the things I think bands in a DE position is it really guides your bar path, right? Because like the bands are pulling you wherever in relation to wherever they are turned and coming up from the hook.
For sure.
So like it is a path straight down and straight up in regards to tension.
You'll see people that don't believe that, and then you'll see them also use forward bands on stuff. And it's like, why are you using forward bands? Because it's going to pull it a certain way?
Yeah.
Oh, no kidding.
Yeah. Pulls you forward.
Yeah.
Hence the forward bands. Wild shit. But so like I don't like using those for MEs, me personally, just because like I do think it helps you navigate that bar position. I prefer, if we're going to do an ME with AR, especially a squat, I prefer chains.
Yeah, you tend to like we have our chain setups. You know, we don't change them up.
I will say, I will straight up say this out loud. I have spoiled Carl and the rest of the boys with chain setups because they are laid out, efficient, weighed exactly. Like I have take bolt cutters and cut pieces to make them weigh the same. Like we know what positions they hang in. No one is allowed to unhook anything. Like they are prep chains and they are like good to go.
People ask like, how many chains are you using on this? It's like, well, it's this weight. You know?
Yeah, because we weigh them out on a big hunting / fish scale and hang them and weigh them as I make them.
You can change the height for between 200, or you can raise it up and have 240. You can lower it and have a 180.
We can do it all. And also like a lot of people have asked me this. Actually, our recent client asked me that. He was watching you and me chain deadlift for DE day, and he was like, "Man, like why are your chains like they're so smooth? Like how do you do that?" And I said, trick of the trade is I actually went on Amazon and ordered a hammock strap, like the hammocks you would hang between two trees to like go take a siesta outside on a nice day. And I took hammock straps that were rated for like 500 pounds, and I cut them because they come with like loops for where you can tie them off. So I cut them down to a piece probably like 1.5 feet and took a lighter, melted both ends so because they're built with nylon as well, so that way it won't fray, and it melted and hardened. And then I looped those around the bar with a carabiner.
Yeah.
And so that way it can move on the bar, but also stay in position pretty well as long as you wrap it like 2 to 3 times.
Yeah, you just loop it around the bar a couple times, put the carabiner through the loop that is closest to you, and she'll stay right.
So if you're looking for how do I get my chains in the middle of my deadlift bar, that's a great solution because you can hike them up pretty high, so that way you get the least amount of extra chains on the floor. Like we've got our setup so it's literally like 1 to 2 links still touching the floor when you're all the way locked out. That is unless you're a sumo puller and then you have like half the chain bundle because you don't believe in range of motion. But not you
for a period
anymore,
of time.
for a period of time.
I might go back.
Yeah, but I see a lot of people hang their chains on the outsides of their bar, and then like, of course, like the chain will tuck under, and like when they go down for a rep, it'll like hit the chain, it'll be off and roll and all that.
Yeah, if you're dropping your deadlift from like a couple inches up on a rep, if you're doing like sets of like triples or something like that, as soon as you let that bar bounce, the chain might hop over like 2 links, and then you got more so pulling this way. As soon as you get it up, you're turning because of that more chains on one side.
Right. So what would you say, like, if you had to give us just a brief summary for those listening who don't train with bands and chains, like, what would you give a brief summary of, like, what purpose do the chains serve? And you can obviously say differences on, like, the 3 lifts.
Okay. Well, the basics of it is it follows the strength curve. Positional, like, you're going to be stronger at the top of the whatever movement, bench, squat, or deadlift, because you're recruiting more muscle. Mm-hmm. So, like, as you're at the bottom of a squat, the chains or bands will be deloaded. You're in a worse position for yourself. And as you're pushing through, once you get, like, midway to the top of the lift, you're recruiting more of, like, your quad or something like that, or more hamstring, and you can thus push more. You're going to have more weight because now the bands are pulling back down, or the chains are just heavier because there's more links up in the air.
Right, so we're stretching the tension of the band till its fuller capacity, as well as raising more links of chain off the floor as you approach lockout.
That's right.
Right, and for a benefit of squat is also both of those things hold true at the very top of your pick. So it's going to force you into position where, like, you are forced to pick a heavier weight at the top that you won't experience that heaviest part of that load at the bottom. So it can kind of prep you through multiple movements as far as that goes. So, like, it'll give you the ability to pick heavier, but not experience the whole duration of that load throughout the entirety of the lift.
Yeah.
Right? So, like, again, like when me and Carl was talking earlier about, like, hey, we want to make sure we're both more comfortable with this 800 for various reasons. Like, if we're constantly picking over 800 or around 800 with your AR, but not experiencing that load throughout the whole duration of lifts, we're allowed to recover better too.
Yeah. You just also risk, if you do it too much, you risk getting weaker at the bottom of your movement, whether it be bench, squat, or deadlift, because you're deloaded. And the more AR you use, the more deloaded you're going to be. So if you're squatting with 400 pounds of chain for some reason, and you're only squatting in a meet like 700, you are not going to be taking...
Yeah, because then you got, like, what, 3 plates on the bar plus the chains?
Yeah, you're going to have nothing at the bottom of your squat. So as soon as you take that in straight weight in a meet scenario, it's going to crush you. Yeah. And I had something like that happen at one of my last meets where I took a heavier squat at the bottom, shifted out of position, cocked back on me, and I was like, oh, well, I lost that one, get it back. And then we kind of hammered that throughout all this prep.
We have. And also, if we hold true with chain deadlift, one of the things I think a lot of people don't talk about chain deadlift, obviously when you get to the top of your deadlift, the lockout's going to be harder because you're picking more of the links of the chain off the floor, and you can experience pushing the weight off the floor easier, right? So it's an easier break from the floor that allow you to get under it and build more momentum and speed, but it slows down as you hit those sticking points at the lockout because the load becomes increasingly heavy due to the chain coming off the floor. The other big thing they don't talk about is the role of the bar with chains. So, like, it constantly feels like the bar is trying to spin or roll out of position in your hands. Mm-hmm. So that was always my big thing. I was always a very strong deadlift chain puller, but if I missed one, it usually wasn't because of the load. It was because, like, I physically couldn't hold on to it anymore because of the bar spin.
Yeah, that's one thing you'll get with the heavy AR is even with bands too, like, it's gonna pull one way or the other.
Yeah.
Especially if the bands are, like, slightly off balance in some sort of way, like you got them anchored a little bit heavier on one side.
Or, like, you didn't check and one's sitting on the actual sleeve versus one's on the shaft of the bar. You didn't check before. Like, obviously it can change.
Whoever, like, if you're running a crew and you're doing a bunch of bands and chains, make sure everybody is on the same understanding of how they're set up before you start running them.
Yeah.
It makes things way easier.
Also makes them not scary.
Yeah.
Because it can be pretty wild. But I would say bands too, like chains, yes, easier to break the floor, heavier at lockout. I would say band tension on floor, you still get more out of the bottom end. Because like for me, like for example, if we're using the blacks, right? Like the Rogue Blacks.
The big Rogue Blacks, yeah.
Thick boys, right?
Big bands.
Like you still have to be in a strong push position at the bottom to break that from the floor. Versus the chains on that position and break, you don't really experience any of it, right?
Yeah.
Like you don't experience any chain till like 2-3 inches up, right? Because you still have that slack in the carabiner and the attachment.
Once you hit that upper shin, that's when the chain kicks.
Right,
like,
but versus the bands, like it's lighter, but it's there from the start.
Okay, no, yeah, I like that. I get it because I feel the same way on like squats and whatnot. Like I feel like any heavy bands around a squat bar, it's more of like a crushing feeling than like a. I mean, the chain's just kind of like
you're really selling this well. Like, do you want to feel like you're getting crushed into a diamond?
It's so fun. It's fun, guys. Trust me. No, I in my opinion, between the two of them, the bands definitely have a more crushing feeling than the chains.
For sure. And I think one of the things that you'll definitely benefit from with the bands is like, I see a lot of really terrible band setups, and I'm glad you wrote that down on the program because it's something I hound my people about. I'll have a lot of clients that start off with like raw conjugate or linear raw training, and then they're like, hey, like I really like the way you and Carl train. I watch a lot of your videos. Like I want to start easing my way into more like AR based training, whether that be linear or conjugate. And I said, okay, well the first thing we got to talk about is proper setup and what is the right AR selection for you. So one of the biggest problems, I think the biggest two I always see is chains on bench is probably always one of the worst ones I see set up.
Okay.
And bands on squat. Those are like my two biggest one I always see the biggest mistakes on.
What's the biggest one you see on the bench?
Bench is the chain is picking up all the way.
Okay.
Like no links on the ground.
Oh, yeah.
Or instead of having a smaller feeder chain to split the bigger chain in half to dangle, like I call it the octopus.
Sure.
Right? They'll just do the one chain, the heavier chain, and let it droop all the way down. Right? So it's like just one single chain all the way down.
Okay.
With like 2 foot of chain already on the floor.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? So like rather than, using that feeder chain and feeding it through the middle to double up and make that octopus/spider effect where you have like ours, like a bundle.
Yeah. So what you're saying is it's like a smaller chain for the actual hook.
A feeder chain, just so no one's confused, because you can also buy like Elite FTS easy straps.
They have straps
like little ones, yeah. But like feeder chains are like you could go get a chain that's usually like how big would you say? It's like 5/8? No, that's big. No, what?
The links itself?
The feeder chains, like the tiny ones.
No, those are like an 1/8.
Yeah. So you can go get those from like any Tractor Supply or Home Depot, probably even Lowe's. You measure out how long you want, and then the person comes up and they'll cut them for you, and then you take them home. But the idea of buying those isn't to add weight to the bar or your setup. The idea is to allow you to manipulate your heavy chain that you're actually using for the AR to most benefit you in the position and height and the way you're built. For example, like obviously me and Carl are both short, 5'5"-ish.
7.
Fuck you. And have T-Rex arms, right? So our bench racks are very similar. They're also very low versus like if we train with our buddy Eddie, he is much, much taller and longer limbed than we are, right? So our band setup is liable to be very close, right? Meaning like our hang point when we pick it from the rack and drag it out, there will be probably, 3 to 4 links touching in the pick versus when we're up and out, 2 touching on the ground now.
Yeah.
Right? So that raising difference of pulling out of the rack, right? Versus Eddie, if he picked from the same height and we use the same chain setup, he might push out of the rack and everything's off the ground. So now it's swaying all over the fucking plates and stuff. So the feeder chains will help you adjust that length between your bundle chain that you're working the AR against and the height of which it needs to be for limb length or your range of motion, depending on if you're wide, narrow bencher, depending. But
Well said.
yeah, I think that makes a lot of sense.
If you're getting your chains off the ground completely and they're swinging one way or the other, it kind of defeats the purpose of what we're trying to do with the chains to begin with.
Right, because then you have the whole load already. It's not deloading as much as the bottom, and you're picking experience the whole weight at the top. So remember, you're trying to negate some of that weight, or most of that weight, as you're going down, and your bundle spreads against the floor.
Right.
The other big thing is, it can be said true for bands, especially squat too. A lot of people will just loop them around bottom post, or like have a heavier set of like 120 pound dumbbells to loop a band and then attach that to their bar. And then when they hit the hole, their entirety of the band loses slack. And then when they, obviously, you've decreased all the tension because the band's completely loose. And then they're like, oh shit. And then it's DE, so they're going to explode. But then it's like exploding into a wall, right? Because the band is completely slack. And then all of a sudden, as they take that back out, because there's no slack, it's really, really tight all of a sudden, and it makes them misgroove.
There's a resistance curve to the bands, too, that the chains don't have.
Right.
That I've heard Anthony talk about, like, outrunning band tension.
Oh, you mean move it to the part as
like,
quick as possible so you have less time for the band to...
The bands don't react. It
right,
almost feels like that, yeah.
Which
I agree with
If you can push through the band quick enough,
right.
you don't feel the band.
Exactly.
Which should be the goal.
I don't think I've used a band on a squat since the 750 with the mini band.
I swear to God, I thought you were about to say with deadlift, you're like, I've never experienced that.
Yeah, well, that too.
Carl's like, on deadlift, I have never outran a band in my life.
I'm a very slow, consistent puller.
Consistency is number one. And I actually wrote that down in here. Look, it says, fast and wrong is not better than slightly slower and dialed in.
That's right. That's a very good point.
That is 100% like, and me and Carl we have had numerous conversations about this when you look at DE benches. And for those listening, I know we've talked about this before. ME, maximal effort, DE, dynamic effort. So when you see DE, you typically think of like speed, right? But like someone like pounding out 3 reps of an 8x3 as fast as they can, like fucking everywhere, like and hitting the top, overextending shoulders, like all the principles you wouldn't apply technique wise to a ME bench, right? Just for the purpose of speed is not what you're going for, right? You should never be sacrificing technique to move the bar quicker.
Yeah, there is science behind like the what's the word for it? It's like in a bench, you just real fast down, right back up. Say you're not throwing your shoulders out of position, you're not throwing your lats out of position, you're just down, right back up. It's like the tendon rebound you get from that.
Yeah, you do get a reflex. Yeah,
right. So there's something to train in that, but it's not what you want to focus on if you're throwing yourself wildly out of position when you do it.
Right. And I'm just saying, like, at that point, like, okay, so yes, you moved you moved the bar faster and you achieved that reflex you were looking for, but at the cost of reinforcing bad technique.
Yeah.
So like what we would argue is like, yeah, you moved it fast for the purpose of DE, but where is that diminishing return? Right? Mm-hmm. Hey, I moved this really, really fast. I can go up and weight, do the same thing, good for me, versus, hey, I just did 8 sets of 3, wildly different than I would if I was actually trying to bench. You know what I mean? So that's what I'm saying.
Yeah.
And that same can be true for squat.
And it definitely doesn't help even when you're training to be in a shirt later on, because then it's just going to amplify any bit of misposition.
Yeah, because you're not going to bench like that in a shirt.
Exactly.
Right? You're not going to wildly try to throw it back. And we're talking about a bench, not your ass.
In squats, it doesn't help throwing it back either.
Yeah, don't throw it back.
Been there, done that.
Don't throw it back. But I think we talked about proper setup. We talked about that. We don't really do product placements and stuff, but I will say my boys over at Havoc Strength, the hooks you see me and Carl using, they literally look like upside down question marks.
They saved our ass in setting up chains.
Yeah, so it goes down. It has 2 holes for the barbell. It comes down with a fish hook. And then this is like layered with like polyurethane. Yeah. Right? So they can't get fucked up or cut your bands, right? And then they have 3 big holes at the bottom where you can literally click carabiners for chain, right? If you have a big crew, you're constantly switching stuff like that, looking for like different ways to set up chains.
That's a big one.
Dude, hands down the best for squat, and I would often, if we didn't have the other straps, I would recommend them for bench as well.
Yeah. Not only can you change, like, you can customize chain heights through the person's height or whatever their build is. Bands, too, if you're going straight to the bar, and then say somebody's like 4 or 5 inches taller than you, take it off the bar, put it on the hook, now it's in the same spot when they get a pick.
Exactly, right? So that adjusts it, what, by fucking 6 inches
Enough,
probably?
yeah.
So I mean, definitely a time saver, definitely a good group variant to have to help yourself out with the training. The only thing they're not really useful for is obviously deadlifts, because they would go on the outside of the bar.
Yeah, you're not going to use them for deadlifts anyway. Because, like, AR setups on deadlifts is, for bands, just to say, is, like, pretty straightforward. You can't fuck that up.
I've seen people fuck it up.
Oh, well, maybe. You can. It's really hard to, but people still do it.
and with chains, like, do yourself a favor. Just buy the $15 hammock strap that's rated for like $250 to $500.
Yeah.
You won't regret it. And then you can just buy a big carabiner from Tractor Supply. So you can buy the whole outfit for like $20.
And if your chains are laid out right in it, it's not going to be in the way, even for conventional pullers, because me and you do it all the time, and it just like lays out in between us. You put your feet
and
here,
then
and
they
you're up.
once you pull the first one, it just piles on top of your feet or like between your feet, and it's not really that big a deal.
Yeah, it's already
just
there.
make sure you're not an idiot and standing on the bands before you try to DE explode through the floor, and then it catches you and you whip yourself back to the bottom.
Yeah, like a Looney Tunes episode.
Yeah, that would be terrible. But Havoc Hooks, my boys over at Havoc, they have sent me multiple products throughout the years. Very, very kind people. Very intricate and cool designs for lifting tools. So definitely check those guys out. And actually, I'll probably tag them on this. Just, if we cut a clip.
Yeah, for sure.
Even if we're not
cool
talking
guys,
about
cool
just,
guys. Make cool equipment.
Been really cool. They repost some of my videos, just like advertisement and stuff. But we actually bought ours, so.
You should buy yours too.
You should buy yours too. Yeah, we didn't get them for free. But I think one of the big things Carl and me were talking about earlier is when we're talking about those different ARs and utilizing them, in an approaching, 8 to 12 weeks coming in towards a peak. And we would call that Circa Max, right? A lot of people don't talk about Circa Max, which is where you're trying to approach your maxes and ideas utilizing AR. So you're recovering, you're building, but you're not experiencing the full load all the time like you would in a peak.
Circa Max is always going to be a squat that's 2 blues, a green, and a purple. That's what it is.
Wait, what?
All the bands.
Oh, that's fucking stupid. That's fucking stupid. Why? So then you can be like, I'm definitely squatting 1,200 at this meet?
14.
My bad. 14. So yeah, if you hear people talking about Circa Max, it is the idea of accommodating resistance leading up to the months and blocks towards a meet where you're starting to prepare for those ideas without taking meet exact variables and conditions. Circa Max training is like fun though. We Circa Max train most of the time.
Your Circa Max is very.
My Circa Max is not a max. I would say Carl's Circa Max. Me, Circa Sub Max.
Circa whatever you feel like that day.
Yeah. I usually don't push it hard because I am doing this cool new thing the last couple of months since I turned down chest surgery, which is called I want to be here for a while, and I really like doing this. So like taking maxes all the time, not my thing anymore.
Yeah.
Enough to grow, but not enough to show. That's where I'm at.
Enough to see another day.
Yeah.
Fight
I'm a very live to fight another day right now.
Yeah. Okay, you first started getting me to do reverse bands for the last list before meets.
Are we talking, actually both, right? Both squat and
squat.
The only one we don't reverse band is bench.
Which might change.
We're fucking around with the idea.
I think it'd be a good pill to swallow.
You're going to have to let me trial some error. Trial and error some stuff in the rack.
We're going to set some things up for you, don't worry.
Me?
Oh, yeah. I mean, I'm going to use it too, but it's for you.
Okay.
So, a lot of the reverse band stuff, I'm pretty sure, I might be wrong, somebody can correct me, that it started back, it was like a big iron thing a long time ago. Mm-hmm. And they developed the reverse band technique for Circa Max training, and it was like taking super big weights with a heavy reverse band, not to depth, like a bunch of weeks out, and as you get closer, you just take the same thing another inch down or like another quarter inch down, take a slightly less band tension and a little bit lower.
So you're building towards those meat conditions.
Right.
Week by week, you're stripping it as far as like farther. On the left side, you have Circumax super far away from meat conditions, and on the right side, you have almost meat conditions, meat day stuff, and you start to close those in on each other.
Yeah, and so what we picked up on was just like a straight weight, free squats here and there sprinkled in until we get closer, and we want to take the heaviest one. We take a third attempt, but we put a micro band on the back side of it, so it's got a little bit of tension deloaded off the bottom.
Now, we didn't do that this prep, though.
That's right. Only because it was more so for me. That's what you said. Because I was fucking around at the bottom of my squat.
Well, see, Carl's problem is...
I can't, I'm going to get nothing out of deloading the bottom of my squat right now.
Yeah, he's not. He's a very strong squatter. He needs... he needs stability, and he needs to prove it throughout the entirety of the movement. So, like, him getting... And again, reverse bands from the top are also going to guide that bar position.
Right.
Which I don't want him to have help on a bar position because he'll squat it in training and I'll be like, fuck yeah. And then we'll get to the meet and you'll be, this happened last meet. Where like...
Base all of your training off of what you did at the last meet. If you're doing this and then screwed up, change it.
Don't use your previous meet day as a, hey, this is what my new goals are for my next meet numbers wise. I mean, yes, but also use them as immediate feedback of weaknesses and what you need to work on. So many people neglect that. Like, and also, side caveat, because I've been going through it with clients right now.
Oh, go ahead. Go ahead.
If you have a meet coming up, please pick your numbers and talk with your coach and base them on meet peaks and training, right? Leading up to the meet. Do not base them on your last meet. Like, that is not acceptable. Like, you do not base numbers off of wishes and wants. You base numbers off of real data and real feedback from prep and peak, right? So, like, you telling me, like, hey, this is the number what I want to take for my third when I watched you almost die under the weight you're talking about for a second, like, that's not feasible.
It's the epitome of it'll be there on meet day.
Yeah, like, that is not the mindset you should be having. Your ultimate goal is to have a successful day. And what that looks like is you have this plan that's reasonable. You have this one that if it feels good, like deload and taper really helped you, right? And you have this plan if stuff still feels like shit. But it should never be, hey, this is what I want, regardless of how I feel, regardless of how prep with. These are the numbers I have to beat, so this is what we're gunning for.
This might ruffle your feathers.
Sure.
I think there's some intangibles in that, meaning like it depends on what kind of lifter you are. If you are a meat lifter.
I was going to wait for you to be like, well, I had my favorite meal the night before. My girlfriend showed up to the meet, so I'm going to get extra 5 pounds out of that. They might play my favorite song. There's probably an extra 10 pounds in that.
I got my meat underwear on.
Yeah, so like those aren't real fucking things, dude. Like, get over yourself.
But I think the real thing is if you are a meat lifter. Because sometimes people just perform better at a meet.
That is very true. But like, I'm speaking strictly as a coach. It is not fair for your coach to be like, hey, there's going to be an extra 30 pounds on meet day because I'm a meet day performer.
Oh, yeah.
When you perform like shit all prep.
That doesn't make any sense.
That's
I know.
not
It's a
fair.
very hard position to be in as a coach, and it's just putting you in a spot where you're like,
So like, let's say they are that lifter, right?
Yeah.
And then they go and do some really good numbers at the meet.
Yeah.
Your job as a coach should be like, okay, I need you to stop fucking around in training then. Because you just showed me what you're capable of and how much bullshit you provided me with during training.
Yeah.
That wasn't, the math wasn't mathing.
Right.
Right? If I saw an RPE 10 from you in prep multiple times that was 40 pounds lower than what you're taking for a third, like, that makes no sense.
Especially, and we talked about this too, especially if you're a natty lifter. And you're not taking some special whatever, right? Like a week before or 2 weeks before.
But that just means you're allowing outside variables. You're not taking care of yourself. A plethora of other things that like may or may not be under your control, but need to be reasonable when communicating with your coach.
Yeah, totally.
So like it's unrealistic, man, and it's also can get you really fucked up. Like, Bro, I've seen some astronomical ideas here as of late, and I'm
Or
like,
you could win it all.
bro, what?
Or you could walk away with the number one champion of powerlifting.
Yeah.
Of all time.
And also, like your goal, and this one might ruffle some feathers. Like your ultimate goal should always be a total improvement.
Oh, for sure.
Total improvement. Like
if you
no
walk
one
away-
gives a fuck if you 5-pound PR'd your squat and then you tanked everything else and your total went to shit because you had to ultimately push that squat. You're like, I'm gonna get a 5-pound squat, but it took everything out of you, and now you got the rest of the day to fuck up because you are absolutely smoked out.
You talking to me right now?
I'm not talking to you right now, but if this fucking applies, if the shoe fucking fits Cinderella, I'm just saying, like,
I'm getting talked to right now. I get it.
no, dude, I have nothing to say to you, and I don't mean that in a negative or a shot at
I got
you. Like,
nothing to say.
No, like you've had a great prep. I'm very proud of you, and I'm very excited to watch you. I'm definitely more excited for you and Bo and Rachel than I am for me.
Can I express something to you right now, on air?
Is it love?
It's not. No. This is not love.
All right.
This is just like how. This might be a me thing, but even if I've taken these weights throughout prep, how am I still nervous going up to the bar at a meet when I'm taking numbers I know I've done 1,000 times?
Because of how much we've practiced.
Yeah.
Because you and me like do this thing called practice how we play.
Why am I still nervous?
Because it's a meet. Sometimes you never get rid of that.
That shit sucks.
I know why I'm nervous, and it's not because it's a meet. I'm nervous because I'm afraid I'm gonna get hurt again. That's why I'm scared. But like other than that, I don't get nervous anymore.
Oh man.
Like you saw me the last meet. Like I'm literally
I know.
I'm literally
I know.
fucking around. Like
Dude,
I'm joking with everyone. Like I don't really
the athlete in prep last meet to this one is a completely different guy.
For me?
Oh yeah.
Yeah.
Oh yeah.
Last prep I had fun and
Attitude, like performance,
last prep
everything.
I didn't give a shit. I had the best time. But hey, I was also in unlimited and knew my titty didn't matter.
Your cortisol levels were very low during the last prep.
That is true. The outside factors for this meet have been weighing heavy on me.
Cortisol maxing this prep.
Yeah, dude. I have been stress maxing this prep. Not just because of prep, just because of life, but like it's okay. I got 10 days left of school. I heard the exact number today.
It's a combination of all the things.
It is. I like this point before we end the thing.
Yes.
When is AR too much? I like that when you wrote that on there.
AR is too much when it's not providing you the results that AR is designed to provide.
Can you?
That's
I
simple as
like that
fuck.
answer, but could you simplify that a little bit for people listening?
In one aspect, it could be throwing you out of position wildly in the movement, which negates any progress you're trying to make off of using
Because then
it.
even if you're pushing it, you're reinforcing bad technique.
Right, exactly. It could also be useless if you're. What was it? You said push like too much AR is that the
Yeah, like when it's AR, like just like not a good idea, or like I guess too much AR. Like so.
Okay. No.
No, go ahead.
Raw lifters. I think raw lifters would very much get a lot more out of less AR than more, and equipped lifters get way more out of more AR than less.
That is true, but I still think there is an appropriate amount for each.
You shouldn't be percent wise. You shouldn't have 50% AR. That should be
So that's a much better idea to explain to an audience listening. Like
50% of the weight total should not be in bands or chains.
Yeah.
That's way too much.
So I usually generally our move is between 15 and max is like 25%.
Do we really count the percentage? I haven't. Have you?
Yeah, I do because I write your programming and I know how much the chain weight weighs, Carl, because I weigh it out on the fucking fish hook.
Chains, but how about bands? Because I feel like we kind of
sometimes the bands get a little away from us, but that is we always do strictly dictated by RPE.
Yes.
Because when we do DE, I use RPE, but I also use RPE in a technique-based breakdown. So, for example, if I say you have an RPE 8, okay? When I say 8 on a DE, it means it's not based on fatigue. So it's not your simple as 2 more reps left in the tank, right?
Okay.
It's 2 more in the tank with consistent perfect form. If you did 2 more, would your form break?
Well, how about speed?
That's what I mean.
Okay. Form
So
and
like
speed.
technique and speed, like if they break with 2, you've gone too far.
I agree.
Too much AR.
Yeah.
Or some people too much more weight.
Well, I think we should add one point to our band discussion. All of the bands we use are double. We don't single wrap a band. So
On squat.
no, dude.
Deadlift is just stretched over.
It's
not double.
It's 2 of them.
I think you're going to confuse people. What would you consider 2?
Okay.
So like, okay,
maybe
okay. No, I see what you're saying. Okay, so a common thing would be like,
when you put
okay, so if you what you're saying is like if you would see a squat, like let's just say you watch an equip lifter squat, right?
Sure.
And they took a band, they had the peg, and they put it up over there, and the bar is here, and the band's running here.
Yes.
Right? Ours is both
TP.
pieces of the band running over like an A-frame or a TP.
So it's 2 of them.
And I guess I wouldn't explain it as 2 of them. I would say like TP'd or doubled over.
Okay,
but,
okay.
You know, but no, I see what you're saying. I just think that's a hard thing to explain if they don't know what you're talking about.
It is, but think like, what we just said, like you have it anchored one way and then it loops. Like you have 2 band pegs, all right? You put it over here, goes underneath and up over the bar, and then, it's in this L shape.
Right.
That's a single band. Because
if at the top of that L shape, the barbell's going through it.
There's
right?
one layer of band over top of the bar.
Correct.
In the TP fashion, there's 2
2
layers
layers
of that band going over top.
Yeah, okay. I understand that. That makes more sense when we say it out loud. I know what you're talking about. I just want other people to know what you're talking about.
So that's why I'm asking, like, are we actually counting our band tension, or are we just going off of, like, intuition? Like,
I think you and me have got used to the part where we go for intuition, but we move gauged bands based on not peaks, on preps. So like if me and Carl go an entire month, maybe even 6 weeks of training. Usually it's been 6 weeks here lately. If you go 6 weeks of training, and let's just say we've deadlifted with the blues and the reds.
Yep.
Right?
That's our typical setup.
Blues and reds, right? If we go 6 weeks hitting reasonably the same weight, and now we're starting to top that out, right? As in like we have to put more actual bar weight on the bar to still achieve that same DE. Now we know it's time to take a little bit of bar weight off, and we're allowed to add a little more tension. So we will change a color of the band.
Typically, we'd go blues off, more plates on for a max effort.
Correct.
And then we put the blue back on for our DE pulls whenever we're
Right. I'm speaking strictly DE because now we're kind of,
okay.
you and me are kind of navigating away from the 2 additional bands, one medium and one thing, and now we're on the thick black ones.
Yeah.
We're on the rogue daddies. Soul snatchers, bro.
I still think for like 4th of July we should do like 2 blues, 2 reds, and 2 whites.
That's a lot of band tension.
Yeah, dude.
No fucking reason.
1,400-pound squats, dude. We're doing it.
Yeah, but you would not talk that same shit if I said it was for deadlift.
no way. Yeah,
we would have to do that and do the bar on the stand with no weight on it.
Definitely call out sick that day. I can't make it in the gym. Sorry.
Oh man.
Have fun with that though.
Yeah. All right, so our next episode will be this coming Tuesday when we are back from the meet, giving you a meet recap and then probably a list of things we're going to think about what we want to work on.
Oh, we're definitely going to talk about how it went, what went wrong, what went great.
Yeah, weaknesses we want to address for both of us.
And we're probably going to talk about how we're going to go see some cool lifting over at Nationals coming up.
That is true. Yes, we will be over at Nationals over in Newark for RPS Nationals.
Yeah, so that's the plan.
Which is at the training center in Newark, Delaware, not Newark, New Jersey. Cool. All right.
Yeah, man.
Anything else?
No, I think that's it.
All right. With love and grumpy paws, we out. Episode 31. 31, 32, 31.
You just make up numbers.
I don't fucking know.